What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple Newtype, and in this episode, we are concluding Mobile Suit Gundam Igloo 603. Last time, they did a false flag operation with the Jim Kamoof, and all of Oliver's concerns became a reality as the Jim Kamoof was taken out by their own men, confusing it with a real Jim. They went to Earth to test the A-gear underwater, but the pilot put all of his pain and sorrow into the weapon, and it ended up blowing up in his face. This time, the Zuda goes up in flames, and they learn that the EMS-10 is no different from the EMS-04. The 603rd help Zeon, who are retreating from Odessa, and Oliver works with an old professor. So let's conclude this. A message is broadcast for Zeon to abandon Odessa's mining base. The 603rd is grounding Zuda operations due to it being no different than the MS-04. In the OVA, there is no explanation, and it's just a generic cover-up on Zemad's part. Here, we get a little bit of explanation of how the Zuda was a product of Zeon's politics. Duval places all the blame on this on Zeonic, and doesn't take responsibility for the fact that his lies got one of their men killed. In the OVA, Monique calls him deceptive and a puppet, which makes it sound like Duval is a victim. But the word she uses in both the anime and manga is doke, which means clown. She is essentially calling him foolish for playing into Zemad's political games.
Doke ne.
They then get a distress signal. Hundreds of HLVs are left to float out in space. The Lunar 2 Ball team moves into action and begins taking out the helpless HLVs. Like the anime, the manga also has Oliver being a dork, saying to Monique, "You know, they're flailing because they're the MS-06J ground type, and they don't have the thrusters necessary for space use." That's how a lot of you sound, by the way. This is such an amazing moment, and it's ruined by Oliver's commentary. Monique launches the Zuda team. She will pilot as well. Duval and Washia launch with her. Duval takes out some balls and even saves a flailing ground Zaku. The Jotunheim is hit by gems. This is the first time that the 603rd has laid eyes on Federation mobile suits. Even Oliver has only seen intel on the Gundam. Duval tries to draw them away from the Jotunheim. He takes out one of the gems. Like in the anime, one of the gems say, "Hey, that's that one mobile suit from that broadcast." What a joke. Everyone laugh at him. He chases them away. Monique tells him to return. Duval takes out one more gem, then another. He is out of range. The Major needs to cut the engine, but it is too late. The Zuda blazes through the sky like a soaring comet. Duval thinks about his comrade Franz before he dies. It is now November 12th of UC 0079. Oliver struggles on how to write his report, as the Zuda lived in the shadows and never existed to begin with. A Zeon caravan runs into some junk. Upon closer look, it appears to be a repurposed mono-eye. December 12th, UC 0079. Somewhere in the shoal zone near Side 4. Suddenly, moose eyes go down. They're taken out by a turret hiding in an abandoned colony. Commander Shock tells Oliver that his next test will be the Balor. The YOP-04 Balor is classified as a recon shuttle. This is essentially a giant sensor with thrusters. This sensor is a prototype mono-eye sensor with an observational range of 510 kilometers. This allows for increased observational range under dense Minovsky particles. The shuttle also has subarms on each side. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Valor, but I'm not paid to fix Sunrise's mistakes. They're a billion-dollar company. They can hire people to properly translate things. They won't, though. This was developed by someone called Professor Weiss. He seems to be a mentor-type figure to Oliver. Oliver reflects back when he was a student in the professor's class. When asked a question, Oliver says he doesn't know. The professor waxes philosophical about finding meaning in the pursuit of knowledge. They meet with a professor that teases him about his final in college. He shows off the Balor. Zeon is being picked off one by one around Side 4 with some unknown weapon. The 603 is to look for the weapon while testing the Balor. The professor asks him if he found meaning. Oliver's answer still is, he doesn't know. He tells the lieutenant that the best technique isn't to claim truth, but to unravel truth and document it, then reflecting on the reality and the science of the situation. They head into the debris field and launch the Balor. Professor Weiss heads out in the observational shuttle. The Jotunheim enters the debris field. The Balor is instantly able to find the giant turret hidden in the abandoned colony. Zaku's from an escort ship respond and look for the turret, but run into balls. After losing a few men to the turret, they eventually take it down. Their mission is a success. Oliver is amazed, but Monique says this is expensive, but she refuses to elaborate. Monique says to Oliver, "Your old professor is mogging the shit out of you. We don't even need you anymore." They all have a lighthearted good time. Certainly no one is about to die. Wrong! Izaku explodes and a Salamis comes roaring in. Well, I guess it isn't a main character, just a red shirt. The Fetty ship tries to break the formation. Weiss says that the Balor will be the Jotunheim's eyes and ears. The ship dodges debris barreling towards them. If you were a fan of a captain yelling commands like, Starboard, 5 degrees. Incoming debris. Maintain velocity. Then this chapter is for you. Weiss refers to the Balor as the Eye of God. He allows the Jotunheim to get some distance from the Salamis, but the Fetty ship fires and gets another hit on the debris, which breaks up into even tinier, faster debris. The debris hits the Balor and the sensor is off. They lose their scanning range once the Balor goes down. The Salamis catches up again. If they allow them to get close, they will be shot. Weiss heads out to fix the Balor, even though it's a debris field, bro. Oliver says that it is dangerous, but the professor tells him that he has to balance results with the risk. He tells Oliver that the only thing that matters is innovation, even after this war is over, even if it falls into the hands of the Federation. We take steps forward, even at the expense of one's own individuality. Balor comes back online. He needs to restart the engines, but there's a piece of debris. It's coming right for you! It hits the professor. Even while critically injured, he simply thinks about knowledge and innovation for innovation's sake and puts everything he has into the Balor. The Jotunheim is reconnected with the Balor, and it can dodge the debris field at high speeds once again. The Salamis says, hey, if they could do it, so can we. They enter into the debris field and are instantly destroyed by debris. Signal for the Valor and the shuttle are lost. Monique tells Oliver that the professor lost his son and wife due to an issue with their ship's sensors. He spoke of human innovation, but in reality, he cared about innovation of optical sensors to ensure that no one else dies. Humans, once again, find an interesting way to grieve. The 1-year war is coming to an end. About a coup, Oliver is in the Big Rang trying to contact the Jotunheim. Check out our coverage of Igloo Apocalypse to see this battle and how they got into that situation. There's also a manga version of Apocalypse we have to get to. While on the battlefield, he thinks back to UC 0078. Oliver is in school with this friend, Helmet, who is preaching the importance of Xeon independence. Maybe it's pronounced Hermit? No, I'm calling him Helmet. Helmut? They pass by Natalie Wentz, the most beautiful student and top of their class. They attend Professor Weiss's lecture, where we get Oliver's flashback seen from his friend and Natalie's perspective. After this lecture, Oliver decides that he doesn't want to go into test development. He wants to go into test evaluation. Natalie wants to go into evaluation as well. Helmut thinks he is doing it to get close to Natalie, but he is genuine about it. Oliver and his friend get into an argument about development versus evaluation, which devolves into the two punching one another. Helmut's father is working on development of a Zaku with a lot of propellant. This is aptly named the propellant unit. The MS-06F Zaku 2 propellant unit is a variant of the Zaku 2 with 2 propellant tanks mounted on the chest and 4 mounted on the back with a custom backpack. Its cruising speed is 6 times faster than a normal Zaku 2. It only has a shoulder shield. During its test run, the Zaku explodes. Natalie knows that the issue with the Zaku was a balancing issue with the fuel tanks. Helmut thinks perhaps test evaluation isn't so bad, and he and Oliver shake hands. The war began, and Oliver's graduation was pushed up so he could join the 603rd. And that will conclude Mobile Suit Gundam 603. I enjoy Igloo more than the average person, so I thoroughly enjoyed this run. You know, a lot of people claim nuance in Gundam, but then they point to high concept ideas of good and evil, which is literally the opposite of nuance. Well, this manga actually delivers on the nuance. Being a part of the technical evaluation team, Oliver strived for technical excellence. But once he saw the battlefield, he saw nothing but emotion being thrown around. I mean, bullets and beam blasts too, but also emotions. Even his own professor, who instilled technological excellence in him, was ultimately driven by the loss of his family. Oliver recognizes that the machines are operated by humans, and humans are driven by their past experiences. Nothing could have prepared him for this cold, hard truth. This manga is certainly anti-idealism and reminds you that no amount of testing can prepare you for the realities of war. The test team was a metaphor for something greater. This manga is written and illustrated by Mimu. And he also wrote manga arcs for the Gravity Front and Apocalypse, so we may have to check those out eventually. Also, shout out to the Shirt Lad who helped me with these videos. Go check out his content. But let me know down in the comments what you think of Igloo. And that will do it for now, Newtypes. Remember, no test can prepare you for real life. Peace.